Did Keith Lee... Oh, shit.
Do it again.
Did Red Dragon make an undisputed error in accepting a challenge of Keith Lee and Matt Riddle?
Trick or treat, bitches. This is NXT.
Support, no DQ.
So, this is NXT. Welcome everybody to What's NXT for October 30th, 2019. I'm your host, Rated R reviewer Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good morning, wrestling fans.
And it is actually Halloween.
Yeah.
We watched this early in the morning, but this was aired the eve of Halloween. Yeah.
No, All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve's Eve.
No,
What's
All Hallows Eve.
Well, All Hallows Eve is Halloween. So this is the eve of All Hallows. That's what Moro kept saying.
I thought All Hallows Eve.
It gets confusing, ladies and gentlemen, but as confusing as it may or may not be, this was a really good show.
Oh, yes.
Maybe not perfect like last week, but I mean, last week got 5 stars out of the General's 5-star rating system for the main event, just simply off the fact that it was an amazing show.
Yeah.
Perfect show. This show was, man, I don't want to compare it to last week's, but let's say if last week's was a 10, this was easily a 9.5.
Yeah. It was a mixed bag is what we got. We got some Laffy Taffy. We got some Tootsie Rolls. Got a couple Twizzlers. You know, maybe a Butterfinger or two.
Speaking of Laffy Taffy, I have myself.
Yeah, that's what brought to mind. But we got
the costume.
Finally get some matches set for War Games, which is huge.
Yeah, that is huge.
Especially with it just looming, I think, a couple weeks away.
And what's huge about it is the matches themselves. We have a big War Games note, but that is not going to come right off the bat.
No.
Right off the bat, we get Poppy on the stage doing a song called, what's it called?
I Disagree.
She's performing live, and they're cutting in with
a recap of last week.
Yeah, basically, just live action clips of last week. And this was great.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
This would be an awesome way to start every show. Different band every week.
Kind of like Wrestling Society X used to do for a short time on MTV.
Whoever did it, fucking genius.
It was Triple H's idea.
What's even more genius is, I guess Poppy also does the song that Io Shirai comes out to.
Mm-hmm.
And they transition right into that song, and Io Shirai's Tron comes on, and she comes out and fucking jams out with Poppy, or whatever the chick's name is.
It was badass.
Get in the ring, and the chick's just jamming out with her in the ring, and they pose together. Like, the crowd is loving this.
Well, the crowd loves Io Shirai right now anyway. They're not supposed to, but it's hard not to. The new aggressive style, the kick-ass music, the Titantron, everything about her entrance now, and even the way she moves and works in the ring now is so much better than when she was a face with Kairi Sane.
Yeah, Io Shirai is absolutely hot right now in more ways than one. This match was fucking hot. We've got Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. This is match number 2. The first one we saw in Toronto.
It wasn't up to par with that, but it was a great match.
Yeah, nothing to complain about in this match, honestly. Just everything. All the way down to the ending of the match and the aftermatch. Like, I was expecting Candice LeRae to get the win back. Bring this to 50-50 booking. They really fucking love 50-50 booking. And this show is not without its 50-50 booking, ladies and gentlemen. But this match got won by Io Shirai.
Yeah.
Granted, not in as clean of a fashion as she did in Toronto, but she won.
I was about to say she needs to start showing more heel tendencies, so she possibly gets a couple boos here and there. Otherwise, this whole heel transition is going to be all for naught.
See, Mark's Reviews. Stefan and Jerry, most underrated podcast in the wrestling industry. PEO wrestling industry.
That's us. Validation.
That's us. Thank you. Oh, here we got a new fella. Luis Gabriel Villanueva. Villanueva says shout out. Sounds Latin. Is that from a different country, or are you just Latin American? Latin United States American, something like that. Anyway, it's thank you for joining us for the first time. Let's see, we've got Colin the Cleaver in the chat room. Happy Halloween, boys. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. I am, of course, in costume. Jerry is dressed as the General, or the General is dressed as Jerry, one way or the other.
I'm dressed as a tired, disgruntled Akimoto worker. We all look alike.
Hurts my sides. I might have to go in for some surgery. So I've got a lot of notes for this match, considering we've already seen this. We haven't seen this match, though. It's like they worked over the last month and a half to do a completely different match.
Yeah. Well, also, I figure, like, Io Shirai's moveset's actually, like, expanded a lot more since then, too. She's had a couple different opponents and actually shown off some more, so...
Let's see. My first note is this was sweet and sick all at the same time. Okay, so Candice LeRae is up on the middle turnbuckle, getting ready to do who knows what, maybe just a drop kick. But Io Shirai catches her and she kicks her off. And you know how normally to do that draping off the corner, like the legs will go through the ropes and they'll kind of hang there for a moment? Well, no. Candice's kind of goes shin on top of the middle rope. So she's basically kneeling on the middle rope, or squatting, and that's when Io comes up and does the lung blower. I would just assume call it the Ticket to Ride, because if anybody has made that move, the double knee. See, Jericho's the code breaker is the single knee.
Yeah, and that's more to the jaw than anything else.
And this was just, like I said, sweet and sick all at the same time. Candice LeRae follows her up top and goes for that avalanche neck breaker, but Io blocks it, just throws her off, but then goes for a moonsault and LeRae counters it with the knees. Io tries to use a chair at some point in this match, and the ref immediately grabs it from her. I think it was Jessica, wouldn't let her use it. And but LeRae goes for a quick roll up, so Jessica has to drop the chair and go for the pinfall. That's a near fall. And then Candice LeRae hits what we just... I mean, you guys have seen this where we come across a move that we can't fucking name. And I'm like, Jerry, what do we call this? And he says...
Side boob slam.
The side boob slam. She picks her up in a double chicken wing. Like, one of the female wrestlers does a... I think it might be... it doesn't matter. Does a face buster out of this. This, she throws him off to the side and pulls him down for a slam. So we call it the side boob slam. Why not? And off of that, she just does this sick side kick to the face of Io Shirai. And she goes for the Cabrana off of the middle rope. Basically, lion salt without the leap anymore. She doesn't jump into the middle rope anymore. And thank goodness. But instead of hitting Io Shirai, Shirai rolls out of the way and she hits the chair. And immediately Io pins her. 1, 2, 3. Io gets the victory.
So,
I did mention some aftermatch though. After the match, I think Io goes to attack Candice with the chair. Yep. And then, who comes out? Fucking Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
Comes out to save Candice LeRae. A little thank you, I guess, for last week.
No, she just wants to go out there and kick Io Shirai's ass.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. But saving Candice LeRae.
I'm just setting this up. Because I feel like Rhea Ripley is Stone Cold Babyface now.
Yeah, well, she is.
She's also paying back Candice LeRae for coming down and getting Io Shirai the fuck out of her match with Bianca Belair.
If this was the Mighty Duck, she'd be Fulton Reed at this point.
So that's the end of that. Rhea Ripley makes the save and she stands tall.
Mm-hmm.
And then after this, we get a video recap of Finn Balor and his heel turn, and then an interview that he gets from TMZ. So, like, nobody's really shown up on TMZ from WWE in a while, I think.
Nope.
Because they love to play footage of TMZ interviews. Because that just means that they're popular enough to, grab off the street. Anyway, speaking of grabbing Finn Balor off the street, we did that.
Uh-huh.
Got a selfie with him in Toronto. That was awesome. We got to see Finn Balor on the last weekend that he was in WWE as opposed to NXT.
He makes a mention of it. Well, not meeting us, because why? But his last match in WWE before he came down.
Yeah, because after the video recap, we get Finn Balor coming to the ring. Same music, semi-different intro. He does the first, I don't know what you call it, where he poses and salutes with the music to the crowd. But then, instead of the second one, he brings down the finger guns.
Yep.
And, okay.
Well, it's not even that. The whole place didn't light up. It all went dark. Like, usually it flashes white, and it just went completely black. So the only spotlight that was on in the entire arena at that point was on him.
Well, this motherfucker comes to the ring, and he actually says that he laid down for Bray Wyatt. Not naming him by name. He says he laid down a month ago for somebody that was supposed to be like the next big thing in this business, and he came back, and suddenly everybody's talking about Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And I guess he's gonna play sort of a jackass. And
rightfully so.
And this was really great. Like, he said that he doesn't watch the business watches him. And he calls out Johnny Gargano, but calls him Johnny Watches Wrestling, because if Johnny decides to come back from the hospital, which he said congratulations for being released, then
he's going to put him right back into it.
Yeah, he's going to send him home to go watch wrestling, which is where he should be, in the crowd watching the wrestling.
Well, he says that about a lot of the wrestlers back there. They're a bunch of fans that should be sitting in the audience at this point.
Yeah, I feel like Finn Balor should have gotten attacked by Johnny Gargano then, and it didn't happen. He just leaves.
Oh no, he's got to recuperate for at least another week.
At least another week. Got to sell it. Got to sell that fucking wicked DDT onto the ramp. Although I feel like, did you notice the ramp didn't look like it was steel?
No, it wasn't.
I think they're making things safer. I noticed, I hate to bring it up because it's the competition right now, but AEW, I've seen several chair shots they have like this padding on the chairs. Like, they just grab it out of the audience where the audience gets a nice padded chair and just use that. And just fucking, like everything else, you pretend like it hurt like a bitch. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever makes it safer for the wrestlers so they can do fucking headshots with chairs again. That's all I want. Put a 8-inch pad on it. I don't give a fuck. Just nail somebody in the head with a chair again. Anyway, after Finn Balor's speech, we get a video package for the Kabuki Warriors. They are going to be defending their tag team, their women's. Why even have to quantify it? But they're going to be defending their tag team championships tonight against Team Kick.
Yep, Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox.
And so this is their video promo, and wow. I mean, I say it every week, NXT guys are so good at putting together the video packages. Holy shit.
What I love about this was watching the more or less the evolution of both wrestlers in this video package. Like, they showed both their times in NXT with the whole Asuka with her colorful clothes and whatnot, and then you had Kairi Sane in that extremely stupid pirate gimmick.
Check it out, bro. We got Big G and Cindy G in the fucking chat room.
Oh, wow. Welcome.
Super early or super late for Cindy G. So thanks for joining us, whether you've been to sleep and have woken up super early or have not been to sleep yet. Thanks. And the Big G, I know that this probably means an early morning for him. So welcome yous guys. What were you saying?
Well, I was just saying we got to see the evolution of Kairi Sane and Asuka at this point, because they both started off in NXT. They both had the colorful outfits, and the super cute gimmicks and whatnot. Now we're getting to see the dark side of them, and I'm loving it. I really am.
Again, NXT video package. Nothing more needs to be said. Speaking of video packages, we get another video package for Tyler Bate. He also is wrestling tonight. Tonight he's going to be taking on, what's his name? Cameron Grimes.
Yeah.
Which we saw the feud here develop last week after Grimes lost to...
They make us care about a match so quickly here.
Was it Pete Dunne? No, who did he lose to last week? Cameron Grimes.
Oh, Matt Riddle.
There we go. Boom. Okay, so that match is later. Up next, our match is Shane Thorne versus Bronson Reed. And who'd have thought I actually needed to see this match? This was a really, really good match.
Ridiculously good.
I don't know if it's great, but it was so fucking good. I'm going to tear into this. I've got like 5 fucking notes, all match. 6 matches. Yeah. Notes, all match. Before I tear into it, your thoughts?
Well, you had 2 great Australian wrestlers in this one. You had Bronson Reed, who's more of the powerhouse. You have Shane Thorne, who's more of the quick with the strikes and just counters and grappling. And it was just a terrific match. I wasn't expecting much out of it either, because Bronson really hasn't shown me much except for the fact that he's a big dude that can do big moves. And Shane Thorne, well, he's still part of the mighty to me. Granted, he's been taking out the breakout stars little by little, but he really hasn't shown me much. But in this match, right out the box, he's attacking Bronson Reed, and it's just fantastic from then on.
Yeah, as soon as the bell rings, he runs in with a drop kick, sends Bronson into the corner, then runs in. It's like a calf kick, a running calf kick, but it was more thigh.
Yep.
Anyway, and that knocks him down from the corner into a sitting position, and he follows it up with a running cannonball. And his cannonball...
He launches from the middle of the ring.
Damn near the middle of the fucking ring, he launches, and just... Fuck. Right off the bat.
Yep.
And we just go from there. Let's see, I've got a spot where Reed catches Thorne with a clothesline, turns him inside out, running senton. I think this was right after he gets up from the cannonball.
Yep.
And then,
I wouldn't say he no-selled it, but he definitely got up pretty quick from it.
I've got a spot here where they trade chops. Bronson Reed with the right hand, Thorne with the left hand. They are trading chops for literally, I fucking counted, 45 seconds. And you think maybe that's not a lot, but when you're watching 2 guys going back and forth, some slower, some really rapid fire, with just chops, wow.
That's a lot of Mississippis.
But they told the story with it. Just the slow in into the fast paced, and then the slow out where they're both finally starting to feel it. And, like, great shit. Thorne catches Reed with a roundhouse to the side of his head. And a belly to back driver to a guy the size of Bronson Reed. Holy shit.
Yeah, this was almost a devil inside slam. He almost pulled off a devil inside minus a ripcord, and it was just beautiful how he nailed it, and the crowd even popped huge for it as well, because Bronson Reed doesn't look like he's the lightest fellow to pick up.
But somehow I feel like, God help me, I feel like Jordan Devlin would be more likely to hit it on Bronson Reed than Shane Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
Just, anyway, we'll bring that up tomorrow.
A lot more spite.
The NXT party. Let's see, I've got more notes here. Reed does, okay, so Bronson Reed does that hop over in the corner and then grabs up Thorne in a throwing German. Throws him back and then follows that up with what Jerry told me is an island driver, which is like a tombstone, but you're holding them in an Alabama slam position.
Mm-hmm.
No. The other way. No, Alabama slam is stomach out. And anyway, like a backpack over the back. And I said they should call it the Holy Driver.
And then I started
saying
Holy Diver by Dio. It was quite entertaining.
Sure it was, Jerry.
Yep.
Sure it was.
It was entertaining in my head.
So Reed goes up top. Thorne goes to try and catch him. and goes for a Frankensteiner, and we're talking a standing Frankensteiner, where Reed is standing on the middle rope. Doesn't hit it. Reed just pushes him off.
Yep.
Into the ring, and then follows it up with a gigantic splash for the 1-2-3.
I call it the Toad Splash because it's like not exactly a frog splash. He's much bigger.
The bull toad.
Yes.
Or the toad splash.
Yep.
Okay. So the bullfrog splash. So after this, we get Kathy Kelly in the back interviewing Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox. This is their build-up for the tag team match, which is coming up very shortly. But before that, we get a video package for Mia Yim.
Why can't she disappear like Toni Storm? Like, Toni Storm has not been on television since her loss. At all. And Mia Yim is just still popped up in video packages. She's popping up to lose on television. She's just still everywhere. I don't know if she's getting another push. I don't know if she's going to be repackaged. But if they're showing a video package for her this week, chances are she'll be back next week.
Either back or they'll have a match scheduled. Something.
Yeah.
This women's tag team championship match was fucking awesome.
Yes, it was.
I'm not talking good. I'm not talking great. I'm talking fucking awesome. These ladies, holy shit. I didn't know we could get this kind of match out of Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. But most of it was just Dakota Kai taking ridiculous, like 10 minutes of punishment on her good knee, her right knee. Her left knee, I'm sorry. That's her good knee.
Yeah.
By Asuka and Kairi Sane. Just...
They're just picking her apart little by little, almost the entire match.
All I had for that 10 minutes as a note was that they were working over her leg. I still yet have more notes for this match and the aftermatch than I do anything else on the show. Holy shit. I'm going to break it down, though. I'm just talking high spots.
Mm-hmm.
But what were your thoughts on the match?
I was actually pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting much out of this match. I thought Sane and Asuka would just come in, completely dominate, and that'd be the end of it. But because you gotta think, who did they beat in order to get to be number one contenders for this
Jessamine
match?
Duke and Marina Shafir.
Yeah, the only other women's tag team now.
Without Shayna Baszler at ringside.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. So for them to have shown up and done as great as they did in this match was more of an arrival than anything else, I think, because they did excellent together. They even had matching tights.
Yeah. Team kick with the matching trousers. So, my first note here is Asuka doing what Shayna Baszler's duo, Duke and Shafir, were too inexperienced to do last week. She went for the leg. She caught, I think it was it was Dakota Kai, yeah.
Yeah.
On the apron trying to kick her through the ropes. Caught her leg, her bad leg.
Dragon screw.
And then comes off the other ropes with that hip attack, that ass attack. Knocks her off the apron to the outside. I think this is where we get our first commercial break. Yes, I said first. And eventually we get back in the ring, and they are just working over that leg. Again, for 10 fucking minutes. And that's my only note for that. And then it just takes off from here. We get the hottest of tags to Tegan Nox after that 10 minutes, who comes in like a bat out of hell. But Asuka counters that Shining Wizard with a knee bar.
The shittiest of wizards.
Yeah. And she has that knee bar on for a good minute. This takes out Nox to the point to where Dakota Kai, who's just been worked over for 10 minutes on her leg, is ready to get back in the ring to take to relieve her partner.
Yeah.
Whatever. But Nox counters that knee bar with an arm bar, and then Kairi Sane comes in with an axe kick to break that up. Kai gets a bunch of offense and goes for the goddess. Yeah, she gets that shoulder standing. Okay. She's got this new move, and I dig it. So Asuka is in a sitting position, and she does a handstand off of Asuka's shoulders and then comes down with both of her knees and just sends Asuka into the corner.
Yep.
Who stands up like a dummy, and Kai comes around the ring with that running face wash, that high kick to the face.
Yakuza.
And tries to follow it up with that go to kick. I don't like the name, but it's a go to sleep with a kick at the end instead of a knee. And Asuka counters it, hops off, and spits the green mist right in her face.
Lots of it, too.
Kicks her in the back of the head, and then flips her over so the ref can't see her face. Tags in Dakota Kai, who goes up top for the insane elbow.
Oh, Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane, sorry. For the insane elbow to the back of Dakota Kai's head, and then flips her over and stacks her up so the ref can't see her face again for the 1-2-3. And the tag champs retain.
And the ref finally sees the face afterwards, but by then the music is playing, the belts have been handed back. It's too late.
So with Dakota Kai essentially taken out for the moment because she can't see, Kairi Sane and Asuka attack Tegan Nox, start to beat her down, but then who comes in to save her? Is it
nobody yet? They leave.
Oh.
And then Shayna Baszler's music hits.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't the tag champs that attacked.
Oh no,
her.
they just left.
Baszler, Duke, and Shafir come out.
Yeah.
And then Duke and Shafir attack her and start beating her down. But then Rhea Ripley comes out again tonight. She interrupts and she starts walking very slowly down to the ring because that got Shayna Baszler's attention. And somehow Tegan Nox takes out both Duke and Shafir through the ropes to the outside, leaves Shayna in the ring. Rhea comes down and she's walking so slow. I'm like, fuck. This is where, sure enough, Io Shirai attacks. But then Candice LeRae, of course, comes out to attack Io Shirai. But then out of nowhere, fucking Bianca Belair comes out and attacks Candice LeRae and then attacks Rhea Ripley. And then somehow, some way, Rhea Ripley takes out everybody.
Yep.
And then gets in the ring, and this is where Baszler starts to back off. Duke and Shafir attack Rhea, and then this all breaks down into all the women in the ring.
All the
beating the shit out of
referees,
each
all
other.
the referees come out. Everybody that's not chained to the floor is in this ring. You have security guards, you got referees, you got a couple female wrestlers in there as well.
Yeah, just 9 chicks in full war. So Regal comes out to that new perch that they have built up.
I like the perch.
He comes out and he says, break them apart, break them apart. He's got everybody he can out there breaking them apart. He says, I have an idea. I know how we can settle this. War games.
Yep. So, more history made, folks. We have the first women's match in Saudi Arabia coming up. And now we're going to have the first ever women's War Games match.
And I stand corrected. I thought the women's revolution was over because there was no more women's firsts to have.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently I was wrong. But after this, now where do you go? So, I think it's...
And they will find someplace else. Mm-hmm.
This is the postscript. This is the slow come down from the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Anyway... After all of this fallout, we find out that Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler are each going to captain their respective teams.
Thank God, because that means Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke may not even be in the match.
Yeah, that means that Rhea could ostensibly get anybody that's a heel in the women's division to fill in that 4th spot.
Mm-hmm.
So... hopefully we get that because I really don't want to see.
Who do you want to see in there?
I would rather either see no Shayna Baszler, and you've got them to kind of offset how Green and not Green necessarily, but
Shayna's a captain. She's got to be in there.
I just feel like Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai just aren't on the same level as Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae.
No,
but. You've got that balanced with Duke and Shafir on the other side. If you replace Duke or Shafir with somebody else that's established, now you've got 4. I don't know. I feel like the deck shouldn't be that stacked against the good guys, but maybe that's the idea here. Anyway,
Maybe they'll count Duke and Shafir as one wrestler.
Right? That's how I would do it. Just have 4-on-5. Why the fuck not? So after this, we have our next to last match of the night. We have Tyler Bate versus Cameron Grimes. I forgot down here. Anyway. This was another fucking stellar fucking match. Holy shit. I don't think it was as awesome as the women's tag match, necessarily.
I want to say the end surprised me more than the anything else. Like the end result of the match.
Go for it.
Just
Drop it.
Just Tyler Bate losing to Cameron Grimes.
Fuck that. Cameron Grimes beat Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
Almost a little bit of shiftiness, shadiness,
but it was a well-earned victory. This was a well-fought match on both ends. Like, we saw a lot of offense out of both of them. We got to see Peter Pan lariats. We got to see a whole bunch of different offense out of Cameron Grimes. Tyler Bate pulled off all of his greatest hits, or attempted to. We got to see a standing Superman punch, which would look better than the usual fodder that they get on the main brand. And the whole match was just awesome.
Most of the spots I have in my notes, yeah.
Which is weird, because not like a lot of these people that are first watching this are realizing that Cameron Grimes has actually been in the business longer than Tyler Bate has. Tyler's only been around for like 5 years. Cameron Grimes is Trevor. He's been around for about 11. He's been around for about twice that amount of time.
And it shows. All of it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is pushing Cameron Grimes hard. Okay, so he debuts, I guess, for NXT a new move tonight. And holy shit. So he goes to throw Tyler Bate into the corner, who jumps off and gets caught. But instead, he drops down and goes to so it looks like a German, but he drops down and goes to shimmy underneath Cameron Grimes' legs. So Cameron Grimes does a backflip to grab him and deadlift German suplex him into a bridge for a near fall.
Yes.
Holy shit. And that's just my first note. At some point in here, Tyler Bate counters an electric chair drop, and you never try to electric chair a motherfucker in NXT. That's rule number 4, I think.
Yep, rule number 4.
He counters that into a West Coast pop, which is a not Frankensteiner, but a Hurricane Rana that ends in a pin.
Yep.
And he gets a near fall. I am super surprised.
The amount of snap that he put on that thing was just beautiful. The landing was perfect. Everything about that spot was just spot on. There's not one moment that I was like, oh shit, that could have ended badly. It was more like, oh fuck, that looked great.
So Tyler Bate goes for the bop. Cameron Grimes counters with that standing Superman punch you were talking about. But still yet, Tyler Bate hits the bang. But then Grimes counters. So Tyler Bate hits the bang, goes off the ropes with that Peter Pan, dive into the ropes. And instead of hitting the lariat that he normally goes for, he gets hit with
the collision course.
The collision course. We call it the Spanish power slam. It's like a power slam, but done like a Spanish fly with a backflip. Near fall. Let's see. Tyler goes. He does some shit. Knocks Cameron Grimes outside. Goes for the tope, which Cameron Grimes had countered earlier. This time he does a rolling double heel kick into Cameron Grimes up on the apron.
Just to kind of set him up for it.
And then hits the Tope Con Hero. Throws him back in the ring, and while he's going to get back in the ring, we notice Killian Dane. Again, out harassing British Strong Style. Just enough of a distraction as Tyler Bate gets back into the ring for Cameron Grimes to hit the insta-finisher.
Yeah.
And we have a name for that too.
The cave-in.
The cave-in. That's what I thought they called it last week. The cave-in. Double stomp to the chest. 1, 2, 3.
And it actually looked better than it has in any other match. But more credit towards Tyler Bate for that because
He took it well.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. And then Killian Dane gets in the ring after the match and attacks Tyler Bate. Does a senton in the ring, running senton, and then sends him out of the ring and does a running cannonball into the steps.
It's pretty much sending another message to...
Oh, he directly sends a message to Pete Dunne. He tells Tyler Bate that he has unfinished business with Pete Dunne. Because he tried to break his fingers.
So I'm guessing that's going to be another match of War Games as well.
So speaking of video promos...
we get another video package?
Surely, Angel Garza, of all people. And I say that because this was very babyface.
Yeah.
Talking about how he's doing it for his family. He's like a second or third generation wrestler. And he was brought up from the age of 10 learning how to do wrestling. And he just doesn't just do it for his family and his elders. He does it for the next generation. And just so fucking babyface.
There's two families that you think of when it comes to Mexican wrestling.
The Guerreros.
There's Guerreros, and then there's the Garzas. And he's really played up the fact that he's a Garza at this point. So yeah, if that's going to be the case, full-on babyface at this point. And we kind of need that. We don't really have a lot of babyface people in NXT right now.
I guess. So, we are making our way there, folks. We have one more vignette. Kathy Kelly isn't up. I think she's on the perch, too.
Yep.
And this is where we get CBS Sports breaks the news, whatever, that the respective team captains for the female War Games match will be Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley.
So it's going to be 4-on-4?
I don't know, man.
Or do you think it'll be a surprise fifth member on each team? Well, you already have 5 on Shayna Baszler's.
Right. So we could get a surprise fifth member on the babyface team. Maybe Mia Yim.
It'll probably be Toni Storm.
Oh, God.
Toni Storm making her U.S. debut, if you will.
We are on to the main event. I do not understand why a tag team match. Granted, we have Keith Lee in the match and Matt Riddle, who we are just loving more every week.
Yep.
And we've got Red Dragon. Great tag teams, right? Still, though, this is the main event when the amazing match for the Women's Tag Team Championships was simply just the main event of the first hour that led you 15 minutes into the next hour.
I think it should have actually been the other way around.
Fuck, yes it should have. That might have been the very first ever 5 1/4 start. Colin, the Cleaver, gave that match 5.5 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. That should have been the main event. I don't understand. This was a really good... I don't even know if I'd call this a great match, though. Really, really good.
Yeah. It didn't get nearly as much time, I don't think. It didn't feel like it.
I have, like, 3 notes. 2 notes if you don't count the finish. Like, I mean, I enjoyed watching the match, but I'm just sitting here like...
That's the problem with this match. This is the match that we wanted months ago, but didn't get. Because after last week, we wanted to see Lee and Dijakovic team up for this.
And here's the bullshit. The bullshit is they know this.
Yeah.
And they mentioned it on commentary that Dominik Dijakovic actually did approach Keith Lee to do this match. And he turned him fucking down because he wanted to do the match with Matt Riddle. And we're like, we wanted to see that match 6 months ago. But after 6 months of not thinking about the match and not giving a crap, now we want to see Dominik Dijakovic and Keith Lee, and you're not going to give it to us. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, seriously, that's it. Like, it was not really a slap in the face. It was more like a pinch.
No Dominik Dijakovic on the entire show.
No.
And maybe that's a spoiler, because this match doesn't end with the pinfall. We have some aftermatch.
I'm thinking what probably ended up happening is probably Dijakovic somehow either got injured or booked somewhere else and just couldn't be in a match. So they formulated that story. Because otherwise, I think Dijakovic would have been in that match.
If they're doing a slow build to putting Dijakovic with Keith Lee, I'm okay with it for the moment. We'll see where this goes.
But I'm also thinking, well, I'll save that thought for after the match.
Well, I mean, Lee and Riddle don't win this match. So it's not like it was a successful tag team and there's reason to continue. If they'd have won, they'd have reason to get a tag team championship match, but they didn't win.
Yeah.
So, and I think Undisputed Era knew that, and that's why they treated the match the way they did. There was shenanigans, but not direct interference necessarily, because I think it was Matt Riddle was able to fend off fucking everybody.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Once Matt Riddle gets going, there's really not a lot of stopping him.
My only notes here are basically Matt Riddle, because my note in the match is Matt Riddle hits a spear onto Kyle O'Reilly and follows it with a jackhammer onto Bobby Fish. He only gets a one count. Jinx. He only gets a one count, but the message was sent. And then my next note is Undisputed Era coming out, so we've got Adam Cole and Roderick Strong trying to interfere, and Matt Riddle fends them off. Ends up doing a moonsault off the middle rope to all four of them on the outside.
A Sae moonsault.
Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. He had a little twist to it.
Outside bro moonsault.
Yeah.
Something. And in all the melee, somewhere Keith Lee gets taken out, and they throw Matt Riddle in the ring, and he gets the high-low for the pinfall. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere almost.
Mm-hmm.
This match was really good. I wouldn't even call it great.
It wasn't on par with the women's one we watched earlier.
We did get an after-match beatdown on Keith Lee, which brings out Tommaso Ciampa. Probably the best part of the match. He comes running out with that crutch and just ends up waylaying everybody with the crutch, except for Adam Cole, who hits the bricks when Bobby Fish comes back for seconds.
Yep.
And let's see. Yeah, just we end up with Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Matt Riddle in the ring with the crutch. I guess that's their fourth guy. Anyway. And then all of Undisputed Era outside, where I think it was Keith Lee throws Kyle O'Reilly into the other three.
Yep. Just picked up, chucked him.
And then Ciampa.
I think it would have been funnier if it was Bobby Fish being thrown out there, because you know, like how they always throw away the fish on the fishing shows.
Sure.
Like Bassmasters. Yeah, you remember Bassmasters.
Catch and release.
Yep.
So Ciampa gets a mic, and he goes over to the belt, the NXT title that's laying in the corner of the ring. I guess just
was that Adam Cole that yelled, "Get away from that belt," or some shit?
Don't you touch her?
Don't you touch her?
And he goes over and he looks at the belt and he says, "Goldie." What does he say?
You're gonna have to wait.
You're gonna have to wait.
Daddy's going to war.
Daddy's going to war.
That's where I think Dijakovic's going to come back to play. I think he's going to be the fourth member.
Yeah, God, I hope so, but we'll see. That is to be determined. So this is setting up the men's War Game match. We're going to have Undisputed Era versus Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, and Tommaso Ciampa, with fourth guy probably being Dominic Dijakovic.
So we're not going to be seeing many title matches at all at War Games. It's going to be more just factions and it's going to be the Survivor Series.
You're going to have literally every title inside War Games.
Yep.
Between the females and the males. So you have 2 or 3. All you really need is 2 matches at this point. But you have 2 or 3 other matches. What's one of them going to be? We're going to have
Pete Dunne versus
Killian Dane. And we're going to have Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
And all the women are already tied up. So really, that's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That'll be a 4-match card.
Unless you have Damian Priest versus Tyler Bate. So anyway, that brings us to the end of the main event. And here on the NXT, what's NXT?
Yeah, not the Tea Party.
No, it's live.
That's tomorrow.
So here on What's NXT, we like to rate the main event using the General's 5-star rating system. And I almost hate to ask, considering, it seriously was a 4 3/4, if not 5-star match. That women's tag team match. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But we don't get to do that one, folks. We get to do the actual main event. Out of 5 stars, Jerry, where do you rate this main event?
I'm going to go ahead and give it 4. Because it was actually... because it actually was a pretty great match. There was no championship implications, so I took it down a little bit. Like the only way it could have been made better, I think, if the belts were actually on the line. But even then, there wasn't this sense that they were going to win the belts in any way, shape, or form. That's our first one for today. Um, but then you had the shenanigans from Undisputed Era, the setup for War Games. I want to bump it up another quarter for a great evening, but at the same time, I still think, four and a quarter is just about as high as I would go for the match.
So what is it? 4 or 4 and a quarter?
I still want to keep it a 4, so probably just a 4.
Okay. Well, I thought this was really good, but I would only give it 3.5. But we set up War Games at the end of it, and then off the back of a great show, I think I'm going to bump it up to a 4. I think I'm going to agree. Somehow, some way. Somehow, some way, I agree. It's a 4. It was top of the scale, good wise, almost great. But then, you add in the whole War Games implication. We got to see Tommaso Ciampa, and we got to see the title on the show, which kind of sometimes seems important, even if it was just laying on the ring.
Yep. Oh, it played its own part.
So, yeah, on top of a great show, off the back of a great show, I'll give it a 4 stars, too.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Cool.
So, that brings us to the end of this episode of What's NXT. Thank you for joining us. Please join us tomorrow for the NXT party, where I don't know who we're going to have as a guest. If anybody wants to volunteer.
I know Chris Mace wants to, but I'm not sure what his plans are from here.
So he might be able to answer us. I don't know if he's in the chat room. But if you would like to be on a future episode of the NXT party up on the big screen, come have a spot of NXT with us. Help us review a future episode of NXT UK. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. If you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
at NoDQ General, and also my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR exclamation point. And you just join us there for memes, discussions, good times had by all.
Have fun, eat soup.
Don't try to add us on regular Facebook as friends, because it won't really work well for you in any way, shape, or form.
No, we don't add people on Facebook, just
No.
as a general rule.
Mm-hmm.
General rule number 0, we don't have people on Facebook. Unless you're a member of the NXT team. Then we'll add you on Facebook and add you to the NXT team chat, and then there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be on the big screen. You got to join us. If you don't have social media, leave a comment down below with an email address or something where we can get a hold of you. Just watch NXT
Smoke
UK.
signals, whatever.
And
have Skype.
Yeah, have Skype, and we'll get you on the show.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cue to everybody out there. We do answer your questions at the end of the show. So before we get done with the plugs, if you want to get a question in, we will try and get in all of them. Literally, all of them. We're not going to pick and choose.
No.
But on with the plugs. You can also find me on Instagram at osborne.stefan. I have a profile picture and no content. So thanks for the follow. Find our channel. That's Aftermatch Wrestling, all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch space Wrestling. That's where we were on our way to 250 subscribers to start going live with the NXT party. But surprise, motherfuckers, we are going to go live with the NXT party if we can pull it off.
Yep.
Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So join us tomorrow morning. If there's anybody in the UK that watches NXT UK and wants to watch a couple of stupid Yanks review the product across the pond sometime in the early afternoon or maybe very late morning, come join us tomorrow live for the NXT. Did I say that enough times? Live for the NXT party
live
on our channel. But you have to go to our channel. That's Aftermatch Wrestling. And subscribe and hit that bell icon, and it'll let you know when we go live. Live. So, hope to
without
see you
the
there.
net.
Yeah, we're going to do all of that all together. Hopefully my internet doesn't crap out, because we're going to have Skype going and go live. And we've done that before with just Noah to do the predictions, but...
Yeah. There's no telling. You're becoming more proficient with this shit on a weekly basis. So.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
Yep.
I have ordered a green screen. We're going to have ChromaCast videos soon. And if you are this far in the video with us, then I trust that you are a fan. And please leave down in the comments. I know nobody likes to leave other comments except Israel Diaz. Again, shout out to him, our greatest fan. Leave down in the comments what you want to see behind us. Like, we're going to have, us, and of course the big screen. I'm going to try and cover up everything else, though, with the green. Maybe still have the lights. I don't know how that's going to work against the ChromaCast. But what do you want to see back here? What would be cool? So we're trying to improve the product. In that vein, it's expensive to improve the product. I've spent probably $300 or $400 of my own money to do the various things. I bought the table, fixed it up. I bought the audio system for recording the shows because people were complaining about the audio, and I agreed. I've spent a lot of my own money. So to try and get some of that back, I have started a Patreon. God help me. So you can go to Patreon and search for Stephen R. Osborne, same as my Twitter handle. And if you want to help out, give me $1 a month or something. Like, if you can afford it, sure, why not? Just to try and improve the product without it all having to come out of my pocket, because it's crazy. But yeah, I did get the green screen.
Hardee's so is not cheap.
I cooked spaghetti this week. That was cheaper than Hardee's, I think.
It's good spaghetti.
It's going to last forever. It's a giant pot of spaghetti. Any other plugs? NoDQ.com /merch. Go buy NoDQ merch. Help support Aaron, because that's what he does for a living.
Yep.
So that's why I try and support every bit I can. And any of your super chats on this channel go to Aaron. So if you want to drop $5 and become the super chat champ.
There is no more super chat championship. He killed it tonight.
Oh, I didn't get to see that.
Well, it was made mention of. There is no more championship. He killed the title.
Well, before Jerry said that, if you had wanted to become the final champion, because technically I didn't know, that would have been great. But anyway, so support Aaron. Go to NoDQ.com, and that's where all the news for wrestling is. And buy some merch that helps him out. Just share the word. Spread the word for us too. Aftermatch Wrestling. Just share it on your social media channels. And if you have friends that like to watch wrestling, maybe they'll like to watch us bullshit about wrestling. Let's get into the questions.
Do we have questions?
I'm going to go from the bottom up, so I apologize if I'm going backwards. Davi says, tell your man Aaron to give you some cash.
No.
No.
He doesn't pay anybody else there. Why would he pay us?
Yeah.
He
He gave us a format to launch our own channel with original content, and he puts the NXT party on his channel too that promotes our channel. Like, I'm not going to ask him for money. Like, he gave me the platform to do this.
We are the B- team.
We only started doing this because we like to do it. It's become expensive to try and make a better show. So I'm just trying to recap some funds here. Because seriously, just the microphone system itself was like $150. I happen to have a good job, and sometimes I can cover it, and sometimes it goes on a credit card, so I need to pay that off. Anyway, let's see. Mark's review says, Stefan, I don't know if you commented back on me wanting to do the NXT party, but I 100% sure want to do it tomorrow. Just recently was a guest on the Holiday Break episode 7. Okay, we will give that a check out. So do me a favor, if he's not in the chat room seeing this, if you're already chatting with Chris, have him add you to the NXT team chat, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
And we'll get you on the show tomorrow. We'll do it probably about, let's see, we get off at 6. Probably between 7:30 and 8 a.m.
Yep.
Probably closer to 7:30 if I can help it.
We've been getting close to about 7:30,
So that's when we would ask that you be ready. 7:30 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast of the U.S. I don't know where you're at, so just if you need to, just Google the difference. Let's see, backing up. What time is that in Delaware? I feel like Delaware is probably still East Coast.
Yeah.
So, like, if you remember back in the day when they used to announce shows and their times, they'd say, like, it comes on at 9, 8 Central. If you watched it at 9 and not the 8 Central, then yeah, you're definitely East Coast.
So we'll go ahead and say this right now. It's 9:52 in the morning here. So.
Let's see, Colin. I don't see any actually questions here.
No questions at all?
Oh, we had the one.
That sucks.
Oh, Mark's reviews. Off topic a little, but who had the better promo last night, Moxley or Balor? I didn't see Moxley's promo, so I can't tell you. Jerry?
I was here, or I was at work.
Oh, so yeah, neither one of us has seen that one yet, but if you remind us later, do we get a chance to watch it?
I still haven't watched any AEW.
Mark's review says, imagine Leo Rush versus Scott Swerve title match. I think we mentioned that the other night.
Yep, that's gonna happen.
I don't really see any other questions. So we're gonna end the video there.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us live, and we're gonna do this every week, and we're gonna do the NXT party every week live on our channel. Again, that's Aftermatch Wrestling, all one word: AFTERMATCH. Aftermatch Wrestling. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers so we can get monetized. Just share our videos. Or I've got all of the shows on playlists, so just like set up a tab and start from the very first show and just let it play in the background for a couple of days. Help us get there, folks. That's all it takes. Like, you don't have to drop money on us or nothing. Just a couple of clicks and do some shit. Like, just a couple of seconds. We appreciate it. Anyway, for the General, Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stephen Osborne. I'm sorry, I am the Dark Wizard of No DQ, Stephen Osborne. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in NXT time.
Happy Halloween.